former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky, why it's difficult to find a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, because the most important things for a quarterback are the ones that you can't touch, see, record, or measure. The physical comes second when it comes to importance, and all those things that you just can't touch and you can't measure and you can't time are the most important things. And that's contrary to every other position. Every other position, the physical is the most important stuff. At the starting point, the size, the speed, the strength, how much you bench, how fast you are, all that is the most for every other position. So if you're a talent evaluator, a GM, a scout, all those things that you're looking at for all those other positions become primary. And it becomes secondary for the quarterback. It's about the leadership. It's about the accountability. It's about the responsibility. It's about the intellect. It's about the processing. It's about the communication. I don't know how to measure that, and I think that's the starting point of why guys and teams consistently get it so coin flip and or wrong.
And you're talking about the mind and how the quarterback processes. And I would say, in conjunction with that, it's the heart. Now, that's also prevalent in every other position, but it's a combination of those two things that sometimes they don't test that at the combine. They don't test it in the offseason.
I've often looked at it like this. If you're a team with the #1 draft pick and you're taking a defensive end, you have to have physical traits that are 6'5", 270 pounds, you bench press 225, 40 times, you run 4.5. Myles Garrett, that's a mandate.
You know, it's interesting, Lance. I think some of those things you can't measure are the things Sanders does really well. You got to be able to get to those, though, at the NFL level by not trying to do too much. I think what you saw against the Rams, he tried to do too much. There has to become a time, and it's going to get magnified because he was able to do some of those things at Colorado. It's going to be 100 times harder for him to do that in the NFL.
Well, for me, if you're a guy who likes football breakdowns as much as I do, there's no one better than Dan Orlovsky, in my opinion. So what he was talking about for me is the it factor. So not only can you not measure some of the processing and getting in the right run game and leadership and all those things, it's also the it factor. Can you make the plays when they're presented to you? And that's what I agree with you. That's what Sanders did at Colorado. He's always been able to make plays, even when his offensive line with no run game. Obviously, in the pros, it gets magnified. So when he drifts back, for example, his weight is back, and he doesn't have an elite arm, so he's got to use – so his ball will kind of float if he's not delivering with, transferring his weight. That's the it factor, and that's why the quarterback position, including myself, you get wrong because you don't know what – you can't measure that it factor. He's absolutely right. Every other position, the traits matter. Well, you got to be able to survive, and you got to be able to take hits, but the quarterback is the most trait non-worthy position because you got to have the it factor. And whatever that is, it's unmeasurable, and it's something that not many people get right. So I think you got to give these guys a chance because you don't know either way with these guys yet.